very glad you're with us. And I heard a statement the other day that said building a successful Trivita business is not about a formula, but it's about relationship marketing. So looking at the first slide here on the Living the Dream, that's a picture of myself and on my ranch, but that's not what I want to talk about. Last week we talked about faith, and it's not only a religious word, which is very important, obviously, but it's also in what you believe and what you are doing. There's a statement that kind of motivates me that says behavior follows your belief system. And for example, Valentine's Day is coming up, so if I love Ruth, my belief system says I love her, so I will have to show her. So as we go to slide number 2, that's a little bit about me. I want to go right to slide number 3. Here we are. So the talk tonight is about goals, and I have a very, very dynamic announcement to make at the end, because I want to share with you all my new dream and how many of you will be able to participate in it if you make that decision. But I want to talk about goal setting first, which is what the conference, what the seminar tonight is about. So the question is, what decisions have you already made? And this is from a book called by Gary Ryan Blair. Get it? It's a phenomenal book. Question number 1, did you know that each decision you make affects what you become? That's a great question. And I urge you to take time to answer these questions. Question number 2, are those decisions moving you closer or further from what you want to achieve? Question number 3, did you know that the direction of your life can change as soon as you decide what goals you want to pursue? Now, I learned that lesson many years ago, and I want to just tell you that story. I remember years ago, I was working for a corporation, and I had a good job. I was making good money. We were living well, but I was not happy. I knew that I wanted to have more of life and provide more for my family. And what made me make the decision to really start that, pursuing that, was I got a huge raise in pay, but what happened was that promoted me into the next tax bracket. And I came home and I said, I got a raise in pay, and my wife said, well, how much more do you get? And it wasn't all that much more because the taxes took most of it. I remember sitting down in my corporate office saying, this is not the way I want to live. I want to become, and I don't think in those days the word entrepreneur was even a common word, but I knew that I wanted more. And so I began to research what I wanted to do. And that decision made me reach out and start my entrepreneurial career 40 years ago. It happened to be in the real estate business. And what I did was I bought an old home. Now, that is really crazy because I don't even know what end of the hammer to use. But we bought an old house and we fixed it up and we sold it. And because we did a good job, and this was incredible, the lawyer said, that's a dirty old house. Anybody that would pick up a house like that and fix it up, you can have all the second mortgage money you want for as long as you want. Well, I took that at face value, and I bought and sold 38 houses over a period of about 2 years. And I remember the day walking out of the real estate office, this many years ago, with a check made out to myself for $104,000, which I thought I owned the world, and that's a lot more today. But that would not have happened had I not made a new goal. So making your goals today is very, very, very important, and that's what tonight is all about. On slide number 4, a couple of more thoughts here by Ryan, which are very, very good, and I urge you to ask yourself these questions. Success is the intellectual, premeditated use of choice and decision. Unless you choose with certainty what it is you want, you accept table scraps by default. Now, each of these I could expand on, but I'm not going to because we want to keep these calls to 30 minutes. Next one, each decision affects what you become. We form our decisions and our decisions form us. That's true. There is no escaping this. The smallest choices are important because over time, their cumulative effect is enormous. That's what happened to me. The next one, always establish the best goals you can. This is a huge one. Goals are the seeds of success. I'm going to repeat that. Goals are the seeds of success. If you want an apple tree in your backyard, you don't plant an orange tree. If you want bananas, you don't plant potatoes. You plant what you want. And that's very true. And I believe the two biggest seeds that can probably be planted, I'm going to say three. I'm going to say money, time, and love. Those are the three biggest seeds of success from my personal experience. You may disagree, but that's how I feel. You become only what you plant. The quality of your harvest is a direct reflection on the quality of your seeds, your decisions. And so I urge you to take time to answer those questions. Slide number 5 continues the 10 Rules for Achieving Success by Gary Ryan. I suggest you buy the book. It's a great book. The next one is a decision is never made once. Boy, is that ever true. For example, take weight loss. Most of us on this line probably have faced that or continue to face it. Well, you can say, I'm going to lose weight. But you make a decision every time you decide what you're going to eat. And that principle is a dynamic principle for setting goals. A decision is never made just once. It's a continuing process because you will run into rough days. The next one is indecision is the biggest eraser of opportunity and potential. Risks and costs accompany every decision. However, the price of decisions is far less than the long-range risk and cost of comfortable inaction. When it comes to decisiveness, squatters have no rights. Isn't that true? And the last one from Ryan is I want you to really look at this one. And this is what I'm going to do with what I'm about to announce in just a few minutes. Don't just pursue your goal. Inhabit it, wear it, act it, live it, taste it, get committed, take action. Life is not a scratch and sniff test. I'm going to repeat that because it's so true. Don't just pursue your goal. I am so excited about my new dream. Inhabit it, wear it, act it, live it, taste it, get committed, take action. Life is not a scratch and sniff test. Big time. Slide number 6. I always love stories, and what I've decided to do with a story today is tell a story and a few quotes from a lady, and then I will share my dream. Her name is Helen Keller. Many of you probably have heard of her. Helen Adams Keller was born on June the 27th, 1880. She lived to June 1st, 1968. She was an American author, a political activist, and lecturer. She was the first deaf-blind person, get that? She was deaf and blind, to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree. Amazing. The story of how Keller's teacher, Anne Sullivan, broke through the isolation imposed by a near-complete lack of language. Just think about that. Blind and deaf, and got a Bachelor of Arts degree. Allowing the girl to blossom, and this is what my dream's about. I want to help as many people blossom as possible. As she learned to communicate, has become widely known through the play and film The Miracle Worker. She died later in life. She suffered a series of strokes in 1961 and spent the last years of her life at her home. Slide number 7. On September 14th, 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the United States' 2 highest civil honors. In 1965, she was elected to the National Women's Hall of Fame at the New York World's Fair. Now on slide number 8, we're moving along here pretty fast. I don't think there's, when you understand a person is blind and deaf, and accomplish what she's accomplished, I want to know what she said. What motivated a woman like this? What would make her want to do things like this? Well, here are some of her quotes. Quote number one: many persons have a wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. I think we have a worthy purpose in Travita. I think all of you on the line would agree with that. Number two, one can never consent to creep when one feels an impulse to soar. I don't know about you, but I want to soar. Number three, self-pity is our worst enemy, and if we yield to it, we can never do anything good in the world. I don't know about you, but I'm sure I have met a lot of people that live with a huge disease. It's not cancer, it's not heart disease, it's called the poor old me disease. Poor old me. And if that's a person's attitude, you're going to have a hard time in progressing for sure. And the last one was, when we do the best that we can, we never know what miracle is wrought in our life or in the life of another. That statement is the big one for me tonight as I make my announcement. I want to read it again. When we do the best that we can, we never know what miracle is wrought in our life or in the life of another. So go to slide number 9. So what's our excuse? Well, I want Christy just to leave that slide up. And I want to begin to share with you just my new dream and how you may participate in it if that's something that you want to do. You all ready? So here we go. So I took a look at where we are in Travita today. We're about a 19-year-old company. We've had tremendous success. Yes, the last 3 years have been tough, no question about it, because we've had a change in a business model. And any time you've had a change in a business model, it's tough. Quite frankly, I've never been through a business model change. I'll admit that. I don't think Michael Ellison has either. I have started 3 or 4 new companies, and starting a new company is much easier than going through a business model change. And I think most of us, some people don't want to go through it, but we've done it. So I started looking at what we have today. Well, most of you on the call know this. Number one, we've got great products, as good a products as anybody out there. We've got Myo Health. We've got the Coming Brain product. We've got just super products. I mean, I take 7 or 8 of them a day, and I'm healthy and I'm not sick. Wonderful products and more coming. Number 2, we have a monthly catalog direct mail. Not many companies in the direct sell business have that. Very few, if any, have the kind of, and our catalogs are not just products. As you know, they are about health information. Number 3, we've got the media back on October 1st. You know, my income has increased substantially, I'll admit, since we're back on television, and there's more coming. Very few, if any, companies in our industry have a media program. We all know that. Number 4, we have a phenomenal wellness center that's just booming in Phoenix, and it's just with Mayo Clinic medical doctors, and the clinic's doing very, very well. Some of you have been there. That's a huge plus. We have the Vitality Planner. Number 6, we have a great compensation plan. Number 7, we now have 2 new customer acquisitions programs. We have the new Essential Builders program, and we have the Accelerator one, which gets you customers, which is very much part of the new regulatory environment that we're living in today. And now we've added what I am very excited about, of course, is our personal development program under the name of Living the Dream. So if we would go to our last slide, here is my new dream, all right? The next principle in 2 weeks will be on how to inspire others to share your vision. Very, very powerful presentation. And just before I announce my new dream, it'll be on February 19th. We encourage you to get other people on it. The flyer will be coming out in a week or so. Make sure you register. Number two, I want you to contact me, and I'll tell you why in a minute. We will be sure to send you today's recording. And if you want the chapter on the principles of goal setting tonight, just email Christina Walter, and she will send you out of my book. I have a 16-page manual that says, so you want to be an entrepreneur. That's where this material is coming from. And she will email you chapter by chapter if you want the full training, and I urge you to do that. So here is my new dream. With everything that we have to offer in Trivita, which is what I have just expressed, I believe we are sitting on a phenomenal new opportunity, but we need new ITBOs. I'm going to repeat that. We need new ITBOs. We don't have any trouble getting customers. We all know that. But we need business builders. And so in 2 weeks, we will be introducing, we are already well underway, a very, very powerful social media blitz. Facebook, the whole ball of wax. We've already sent some of our material down to Trivita for brand watch, for compliance. And what my goal is to introduce it on February 19th. Now, it won't be complete. This whole program will take time to develop chapter after chapter after chapter. But the whole goal is, number one, it's my new dream, to get hundreds and maybe thousands of ITBOs. As this program is released, all of the leads are going to come to us, every single one. And what I want to do is give these leads away to people in Trivita who are presently ITBOs, on the condition, there's three conditions. Number one, that you're listening to the Living the Dream series. I'm not going to give it to anybody who is not supporting what we're trying to do in personal development. That's number one. Number two, if you're interested, you see my email address on the last screen. I want you to email me, and I want you to tell me why you want me to give you ITBOs, potential ITBOs, and what your goals are. I'm not going to give them to anybody who doesn't do those three things. Be involved in Living the Dream webinars, which you are on tonight. Get your other people on it. That's number one. Number two, email me at bborthistle@shaw.ca why you want to participate in this and what your goals are. And what our intention is then, as we get new leads, and we believe, and I can't make any guarantees, we're going to give these new potential ITBO leads free of charge to people that are involved. No charge to you. And then what my bigger dream would be then that we begin to gather stories, we build relationships, we have a lot of fun, help a lot of people. That's my new dream. I want this to be my legacy. I want this to be part of what people remember me for, in helping others. And so I would encourage you to listen to the recording, get the recording out to your other ITBOs. Email me again. The three parts are, number one, that people are involved in Living the Dream seminars that you are on now. Number two is you've got to email me on why you want me to give you free ITBO leads. And number three is, what are your goals? I want written goals. Then we're going to build the library. And as we begin this, and again on February the 19th, that's 2 weeks tonight, our goal is to have our first introduction on how we're going to start this program. We hope to start it within a couple of weeks. It's not going to be complete. It's going to take probably 6 or 8 months to get the whole thing done, because we've got so much to share. So I hope that has encouraged you and to get involved. And last week I played at the end of the song, at the end of our time, a song. I want to play it again, because this is going to be involved in our Living the Dream Trivita. and I'm just trying to push the right button. And here we go. Are you ready? Thank you. Looking forward to your emails. God bless you. Have a great 2 weeks. Don't forget February 19th. Bye now. My favorite place. Aloha!